3, so we're going to go ahead and make a couple of slides here so we can view them. So we have our fresh tube of blood with an anticoagulant tube, our patient's name, and today's date. So earlier in a previous attempt, we tried to make our slides using the capillary tube, and we were not successful at that. So the first thing we're going to do is actually use pipettes. Our slides do not have frosted edges, so we will use a marker to write their information at the very bottom. So we're going to use a pipette and just draw up a tiny drop of blood. And we're going to go ahead and just place this on our slide. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pick this up and place it into our hand. Make sure we have a sufficient grip, but are still able to do everything we need. And then we are going to bring our slide back and let it absorb the blood just all the way across. And then without lifting, we want to slide it forward. And so we're going to go ahead and place our slide we're going to label it with JJ's name, his ID number, and today's date. And then we'll place this butt down up here to dry. So then we're going to go ahead and make our second slide. So we're going to invert our sample here, get a clean pipette, get just a tiny drop, place that onto our slide. Okay, then we are going to take a clean slide here. And we are going to place our fingers on the end. We are going to gently pull this back, allowing the blood to work its way all the way across, and then slide it forward. And then we're going to label that with JJ's information and today's date. And then we're going to place this one butt down up here as well so that they can dry. And once they are dried, we'll be back to go ahead and get them stained. Slides have now dried, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at them. This slide goes to about halfway. We do want a space on each side of the slide. We have that on the left, not so much on the right. We do have a nice feathered edge here down at the bottom on that first slide. On our second slide, it's a little close on this edge, but we do have space on each edge, and then we have a feathered edge here. So now the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and stain these. So we want to do 10 1-second dips. So we're going to start with our fixer and just go ahead and dip it in there 10 times. And then we're going to go ahead and use our sterile water to rinse between each of the dips. Okay, so then we're going to move on to the first, the dip quick stain, the second step here. And again, we're going to do 10 1-second dips. We want to make sure that we have a nice feathered edge because that's where we're going to read our slide at. If the cells are too thick or on top of each other, you're not going to get a good reading. So that feathered edge is going to space them out for us. The things that you can read in there are your white blood cells, your red blood cells, your platelets. So we're going to put this in our final stain, and we're going to do 10 1-second dips here as well. Okay, then we want to make sure that we have If we were using a frosted slide, the frosted side down, that would show our butt. However, we have labeled it with our patient's name. So we want to make sure that's pointing down, and we're going to go ahead and rinse off our slide. Then we're going to go ahead and gently remove it and place it butt down so that it can dry. And then we're going to go ahead and stain our second slide. Again, 10 1-second dips in each one. Your ideal slide would be completely straight with no waves in it. On to step 2 of our stain. You also want to make sure that there's no places that the slide lifted, so that there's bald spot or streaks in it. And then our final stain. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and rinse this one off too. Again with the butt, which would be a frosted edge if we had one, down, but like I said, we have labeled these with our patient's name, so we're able to know which end is down. And so we're going to place that one right there, and we're going to let those dry, and then as soon as they're dry, we'll be back for the next step in our video. So we are back. Our slides have now air dried and they are stained. So our first slide doesn't seem to have any empty spots or bare areas or lines through it. So that one is ready to be viewed under the microscope. And then as you can see, our other one kind of looks like I must have lifted right here. And you can see some lines there. So that's probably not the best slide to view. So they are now ready to be looked at under the microscope. So we're going to go ahead and set those up there for the doctor. And then we're going to go ahead and clean up our mess so that when she comes out, she's not tripping over everything. So we're going to pick all of our stuff up. Go ahead and throw it all away. And then we're going to go ahead and take, like I said, and just wipe up the whole area around here so that we can get everything cleared up for her. And that is the end of our task.